What we want to do in this 10 minutes is basically give you a brief overview of how we've used mobile technology in different sectors, and perhaps maybe, inspire you to think about how you could use mobile technology in your particular sector and in the work that you are doing. So to give you a little bit of context, the majority of the globe's population live in countries usually described as developing. Of these, 1 billion people live in Africa. Most will never use a computer, but there are 600 million mobile phones in Africa. The future starts now, and and we are the future, right? But to avoid cliches, let me just go forward and talk about Praekelt. Mobile technology is changing the world. The challenge is not to adapt to the change, but to direct it. We use mobile technology to create disruptive, life-enhancing services for the majority world. And don't be dissuaded by the word disruptive. What we mean by disruptive is not negative, but rather positive, where, for example, mobile phones, in the very, very primary use of being able to communicate, disrupted the way in which we're able to communicate to each other from the beginning. Our work has touched more than 50 million people in 15 countries. We have 6 offices in 5 countries in 3 continents. Our areas of experiences are in agriculture, health, education, governance, and employment. When we started mainly with health, and this is where we have a lot of our projects. I will be touching a little bit on one of our projects in health and one in governance. Our platforms. So to get an understanding of what we actually do, it is a little bit important to understand how we do it. We have 2 platforms. One is Boomi and one is Jumbo. If you look at your phone, you'll see the bottom part has all the buttons on it. That's where Boomi sits. That's where we start a conversation via USSD or SMS. Jumbo is your screen. This is where Mobi sites come in, and that's where we create a chance for you to communicate and to create two-way engagement with the people on the end and the people on the back end who are creating that information source. So just to give you a quick example of 2 of our products or projects, the first one we will talk about is Young Africa Live. And this is something that all of you who are on Safaricom will be able to access. It's for free. If you go to yal.co.ke, you'll be able to see it on your mobile phone now. It's a platform where the challenge was that young people most in need of information about sexual health are those most neglected by traditional media. Our solution, a free-to-access mobile community platform that engages young people around the topics of love, sex, and relationships within the social, economic, political, and cultural context of their region. Our status, more than 1.3 million users in 3 territories with unprecedented engagement. This means that we're not just giving them information, but there is actual engagement. We're live in 3 territories: South Africa since the 1st of December, Tanzania 2009, Tanzania since 2011, and Kenya is our newest platform, 26th January 2012. We have 1.3 million users, 2.7 million comments. With the comments, they create communities. Young Africa Live has been amazing in that there has been no advertising that goes on behind it. And yet it has created a community, and I'm not sure if you were able to see one of the comments, but they call each other yallers. And there are so many stories of how they speak to each other as if they know each other and say, yallers, thank you so much for being my support when I had to go see my friend who is HIV positive and I wasn't scared to hug her. So it has had a really immense impact on young people by being able to not just communicate to them information, but allowing them to engage backwards as well. What's been really interesting is that we've also been able to track social influence. The pink balls are girls and blue balls are boys. Yellow stripes are when there's cross connections between males and females. Blue is male-to-male conversations. Another thing that's been really interesting is that one of the most looked at articles on Young Africa Live is, how do I know if I'm gay? Anonymity is one of the most amazing things about this site. You can ask the questions that you may not have the courage to ask somebody face to face. This is something that we're doing new with Young Africa Live. We are now able to connect people to where their nearest HIV testing center is. So as you can see on the second screen, I'm not sure if it's clear enough for everybody, but it says, find your nearest HIV clinic and get tested today. You select your province, and then it says regular testing. It tells you about regular testing prevents HIV transmission, and then you can find it in your city, and then from your city you can find it in your suburb, and it gives you the address, it gives you a phone number that you can dial from directly. The last one that I'll touch on very quickly is MDEM Toolkit. We're launching in Kenya in January and then in South Africa. Our challenge is to create a mobile toolkit for democratic political parties that support their objective of promoting good governance, accountability, and civic education and leadership. The solution, the M-Democracy Toolkit, provides a number of mobile services allowing citizens to engage with each other and democratic political parties, report and monitor government progress, and engage in debate around political issues. We are now in the first phase of development, and like I said, we will be launching in January and then again later in the year for South Africa. What's been amazing about the MDEM Toolkit is that we have a citizens scorecard where citizens are able to take a poll and say, this is what I think about XYZ issues. At the same time, they have a free-form feedback form where they can say, this is the area I'm in, this is the issue I'm facing, and then go on to describe it. There's also a directory where they can say, I need to find out, what can I do? I need to talk to somebody in the Ministry of Land, I have an inheritance issue, how do I get this information? They can search for it, the information comes up. And this is where open data is so useful for them to provide the content for us to be able to deliver it to the users. So thank you guys all for listening.